beautiful hump day. We're going to get into a little bit of ceasefire talk, if you want to call it ceasefire talk. First, let's get on to some housekeeping. Two big dogs running around the house. I don't cage my dogs. They're my kids. You don't cage your kids. I don't cage my kids. They're free range, okay? My babies are free range. They have run of the house 24/7. They whine, they squeak, they bark, they moan, they groan, they pitter-patter. They do all kinds of stuff. We just had a big interruption before we started the show. Somebody at the door was the wrong address, and they both went ballistic. We have dogs all around the neighborhood that bark all the time that make my dogs want to bark. They're communicating. I don't know. I don't speak dog, so I can't tell you yes or no. Train, quarter mile down that way, due west. Comes by all the time. And, like I said, we got people coming to the door. Deliveries or wrong addresses. So, you may hear some interruptions because I have a small studio because I'm not that big yet. Hopefully with you following me, liking and sharing, give me some love and growing my platform. Maybe I will have a nicer studio that's soundproof that maybe I can use outside in the back in my shed. Make that the Ola America Studios. Away from everything. So anyway, welcome to my podcast this afternoon. I appreciate you spending time with me. I really do. Let me get this in right here. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about the ceasefire. Okay? Now, I have found somebody new that I'm really in love with on X called Joshua Reed, Red Pill TV. Now, if you don't know what Red Pill is was what we conservatives or anons give those liberals or Democrats to eat. Kind of like Neo, red pill or blue pill. This is red pill. This is where I red pill you for free. No charge. You don't get a choice. You either take a red pill or you take no pill. But by the end of my mission, I'm going to wake your arses up. Now, had a ceasefire yesterday. Supposedly, they're still throwing hands. The bell's already gone ding, ding, and they're still throwing hands. I don't know why. But this is how little children act. Now, Joshua Reed explained this to me very, very well yesterday, and again this morning, that Israel is upset because they weren't involved in the talks. And I know everybody's saying Trump's being ran by the nose by Bibi in Israel. They got him into this thing. Nope. Trump negotiated with Iran and the help of Pakistan this 10-point list without Israel's involvement. Israel is irrelevant at this point. Once Trump gets to take care of the Middle East and takes care of all that stuff with Iran and the Strait and taking care of that, which we'll get into that too, he'll take care of Israel next, okay? As I've explained, it's ran by the Zionists, the Jesuits, the Cabal. And that's Bibi and his team. They are evil government. Kind of like ours here. They only do for themselves. They're not in for the people. Kind of like ours here. Huh. He'll take care of that. So, 10-point list. My paper's going to work. 10-point list here, guys. There are 3 different lists flying around. The first one, as J.D. Vance says, was done by ChatGPT. They know for sure because it was so ridiculous that they 86'd it. Trump says, hail to the no. The second one is the more realistic 10-point, which is going to be eventually a 15-point. Maybe they'll meet in the middle and do a 12 or 13-point. That was the one they're working with. The third 10-point that CNN is parading all over national news, which Trump said he's going to sue them for that because that was fake news. That was done by some kind of rogue Iranian who still thinks that they have control over the world. They're probably the same one that wrote the tweet that's saying Iran was so powerful that Trump had to concede and make a deal. Excuse me, but how are you fighting? With Nerf and pellet and BB guns? You don't have anything, dude. You don't have anything. You have hardly anything left. So for you to sit there and write that garbage, it was like CNN help you write it. That the axis of resistance beat America, the great American military. No, you didn't. No, you did not. What you're about to find out is the truth. You're about to find out the power of the military even more than you've been finding out for the last 38 days. And believe me, you don't want to find out that. Okay? I believe the deal was made days ago, but Trump waited to the very last minute to announce it. And then Israel and Iran started throwing heads because Israel says, Libya was not involved in the deal. America says you're right, but could you hold off for a few days? Kind of let things cool off before you start throwing hands again. Iran says, Lebanon was part of the deal. No, it was not. Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis are not part of this. But Israel needs to stand down as well as you need to stand down, or you're going to have Big Brother come back in and beat the shiatsu out of you. What do you want to do? You want to keep your ears on your head and your nose on your face, or do you want to just lose all of it? Because that's what's going to happen when America gets back in there and starts hitting you harder than they did before. Plummeting the hell out of Kharg Island, getting ground troops to secure Kharg Island, because once we do that and secure the Strait of Hormuz, then you no longer have any stronghold, Iran. You can't hold anybody in the world hostage anymore because that's your little bitty whoopee that you're using. That's your little golden key to the ocean and the economic global effect is the Strait of Hormuz. So Trump has already started dismantling that with the Lords of London, taking down the London Bank, and then taking away the insurance coverage from Lords of London, all those carriers, because you were in bed with London and a lot of other Middle Eastern countries, and when you guys would threaten war, Lords of London would raise insurance policies, and then you guys would pocket the profit. And all your little dirty hands were in it. Well, Trump stopped that shit, didn't he? He stopped that shiatsu when he says we'll insure them. So not only did it take out the London Bank and the cabal and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the DuPonts money and the other bloodlines, he struck Lords of London with the insurance. So you couldn't counteract and say, "Oh, we're gonna throw some bombs and then we're gonna hold some oil and close the strait and make oil go up, and we can make profit off the gas prices, and then we can raise insurance policy and make profit off of that." So they were double dipping. Can't do that. Can't double dip. You can't even single dip. You can't do that. Not a Trump's party. You can't. So we found out that's what you were doing, and now Trump is taking over. The New World Order is the New World Order of Trump. Trump is going to take over the economic situation, if you will, of the world. He's going to be in charge, if not be king. He's already taken down the cabal little by little. The biggest strike was taking over Lords of London, the insurance. Now if he takes over the Strait of Hormuz, called the Strait of Trump, and they build that trench in between UAE and Qatar to kind of lessen up that bottleneck, that hairpin turn up there between the Persian Gulf and the Oman, then that would let commerce come and go. They could do one in and one out, one in and one out. And they could have it, and they could have more ships come in quicker and then get more oil shipped out to the world. He also puts stronghold on Russia and China and everybody else in the world because that's where they get most of their oil from, you see. So Trump has a plan, and Trump's not stupid. Trump's a businessman. Have you ever not read The Art of the Deal? I suggest you do. What about The Art of War by Sun Tzu? It's the same thing. The same thing. Okay? This is what Trump is doing. Trump is making sure that people are playing nice. Okay, so let me show the screen here. Let me go here to this. Here, let me read this to you. Joshua Reed, the world is waking up. Welcome to the dawn of America First. We are living through the greatest shift in history. The old era of endless wars, globalist control, and hidden agendas is crumbling, and the new dawn is rising. Sovereign nations, truth exposed, power returned to the people. This is the Trump doctrine in action. Modern warfare redefined. Wars aren't won anymore with boots on the ground, trillions wasted, or fake surrenders. They're won with an unrestricted strategy. Okay, the unrestricted strategy is what? To have control of the Hormuz. to have control of all the oil coming out of the Hormuz and where it goes to have the finger on the pulse of the Middle East, to make sure that Iran plays nice and becomes a republic again, plays nice with their brother and sister, and becomes economic worthy again, right? That Russia and China are playing nice with the Saudis and Qataris and Kuwait and Iran, Iraq and all that, to make sure they're being nice. Now, I don't think Iran will ever be civil with Israel and vice versa, but he's pretty much got control of everything now. He takes Karg Island and it's game over. Now, I don't know if you noticed here, but there's a couple of chess pieces in this picture here. I don't know if I can widen it up, if I can zoom it in here. I don't think, I can't. There, you see that? You see that? You see how big that is? Let me see if I can do this here. See that? America and China. Right there. Trump's playing 5D chess and they're playing Chinese checkers. He's always steps ahead of them. Always. Always, guys. All right, so let's go to the next article here. Let me stop this. Okay. Just in, the Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi responds to Israel strikes on Lebanon. The Iran-U.S. ceasefire terms are clear and explicit. The U.S. must choose ceasefire or continued war via Israel. It cannot be both. The world sees the massacres in Lebanon. The ball is in your court, America. Oh, really? Okay, the ball's in our court. Well, Lebanon, I guess they didn't tell you, sir, was not part of the deal. That was not part of the deal. Trump said it. J.D. Vance said it. Pakistan said it. Weiskopf said it. And the husband of Ivanka, Jared Kushner, said it. Lebanon was not part of the deal. That's Hezbollah. It was with you. But you started bombing Tel Aviv. And then overnight you bombed Kuwait, UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. So what happened to your promise to a ceasefire? Mr. What is his name? Mr. Araghchi? Mr. Araghchi? We about to get you. You understand what that means? Don't play with Trump. Daddy don't play that. You're going to learn today. Like I said yesterday, you're going to learn today. If you keep messing with your allies and our allies around us, you're going to find out what it's like to have the code red put on you. And if you're part of the Marines, you know what code red means. You know what that means. Okay, so let's go to the next one. I don't care about Pam Bondi. Okay, let's listen to Caroline Levitt here, okay?
Created maximum leverage for the President of the United States, allowing he and his leadership team to engage in tough negotiations over the past couple of weeks that have now created an opening for a diplomatic solution in long-term peace in the Middle East. The President's maximum pressure and the leverage created by the success of Operation Epic Fury led to the Iranian regime asking for and ultimately agreeing to a ceasefire proposal with the United States. Iran could no longer tolerate being bombed or taking the gamble of what was to come following President Trump's 8 p.m. deadline last night. Iran has agreed to open the Strait of Hormuz, and as the president said, we have received a proposal from the Iranians that has been determined to be a workable basis on which to negotiate. I've seen a lot of inaccurate coverage today from the media about these negotiations and these plans already, so let me be clear and correct the record. The Iranians originally put forward a 10-point plan that was fundamentally unserious, unacceptable, and completely discarded. It was literally thrown in the garbage by President Trump and his negotiating team. Many outlets in this room have falsely reported on that plan as being acceptable to the United States, yes, and that is false. With the president's deadline fast approaching and the United States military completely decimating Iran with each passing hour, the regime acknowledged reality to the negotiating team. They put forward a more reasonable and entirely different and condensed plan to the president and his team. President Trump and the team determined the new modified plan was a workable basis on which to negotiate and to align it with our own 15-point proposal. The president's red lines, namely the end of Iranian enrichment in Iran, have not changed. And the idea that President Trump would ever accept an Iranian wish list as a deal is completely absurd. The president will only make a deal that serves in the best interests of the United States of America, and he as a negotiating team will focus on this effort over the next 2 weeks, so long as the Strait of Hormuz remains open with no limitations or delays. These extraordinarily sensitive and complex negotiations will take place behind closed doors over the course of the next 2 weeks. I would strongly advise the media against running with narratives that have no basis in fact. What Iran says publicly or feeds to all of you in the press is much different than what they communicate to the United States, the president, and his team privately. Never underestimate President Trump's ability to successfully advance America's interests and broker peace. President Trump has a proven track record of achieving good deals on behalf of the United States and the American people, and he will only accept one that puts America first.
Okay, so did you get that? Did you get that? The first one was unacceptable. ChatGPT thrown in the trash can. The second one was acceptable. They're working on it. Okay. Originally wanted a 15-point, but started off with a 10. They can negotiate that. And then the third one was done by some kind of rogue person that sent it out to CNN, and they ran with it. Now on Truth Social, he said he wants somebody to look into it, and he wants to sue CNN for this fake news that they're coming out with. Well, if we would reinvoke, I believe it's to reinstate the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama took out to allow the press to lie. If he were to put that back into play, they wouldn't be able to do that, and they can be sued for that. Now, he has won a lot of lawsuits against him. George Stephanopoulos calling him a rapist, and Melania being called illegal alien by The View, and Leslie Stahl for her thing with CBS saying he was lying about the wiretapping, all that stuff. He has sued and won many, many times. He can do it again. BBC for cutting and pasting his speech on J6. All that he can take care of in a snap with just a phone call saying, take care of that from CNN. Sue him. And it'd be done. Okay? So CNN needs to watch their P's and Q's. They all need to, because they're all lying about him. They can't say anything good about him. It all has to be bad. They can't be happy that a ceasefire was put into place, even though I don't see where the cease is at. Because they're still fighting. Now, I know it may take a while for them to stop, but dang. Guys, you're adults. We're the adults in the room watching these kids. Stop. Stop. Okay. Breaking. Iran Speaker of the Parliament Ghalibaf releases a statement claiming that 3 clauses of their 10-point proposal have been violated by the U.S. and Israel already. Okay, well, that's not true. That's not true. Those 3 points were on that ridiculous 10-point list that was not negotiated. Lebanon was not part of the deal. You know it. We know it. But CNN knows it too. But they want to blue pill everybody. They want to red pill. They want to blue pill you guys because they want to turn everybody up against Trump for what's going on. They're already talking 25th Amendment for the Sunday tweet about using the F word. The rhinos are out in full force. The radical left are out in full force. 25th Amendment. Let's impeach him. Blah, blah, blah. Teflon Don ain't going anywhere. Okay? Just so you know. He ain't going nowhere. All right. We don't want to talk about Dominion. Here's Netanyahu talking. Let's see what Netanyahu's got to say. Good old BB, whatever. Hey, can't stand him.
And Israel is stronger than ever. This is the bottom line of this campaign up until now. Let me say, there are still additional objectives for us to achieve, and we will achieve them either by agreement or by resumption of the fighting. We are ready to resume the fighting at any moment. Our finger is
You're still
on
fighting.
the trigger. As you know, 2-week ceasefire has been announced between the U.S. and Iran. No, we were not surprised in the last moment, and I want to emphasize, this is not the end of the war. This is a step in order to achieve all the objectives, and Israel is stronger than ever. This is the bottom line of this campaign up until now. Let me say, there are still additional objectives for us to achieve, and we will achieve them either by agreement or by resumption of the fighting. We are ready to resume the fighting at any moment.
Yes, he is. You know why? Because he's a warmonger. That's why. Excuse me. He's a warmonger. Always has been, always will be. He wants war. He wants to keep going. That's what he and the Rothschilds want. Not Trump. All right. Let's see what Joshua Reed's got to say next year. Trump truthed out something here. Still, why is Israel striking Lebanon? Okay. I get it wasn't part of the agreement. That's fine and dandy. But why? Why though? Right now, during this very critical time frame, it appears to only be to break the ceasefire and progress a larger regional war. Donald Trump truths out. Numerous agreements, lists, and letters are being sent out by people that have absolutely nothing to do with the USA-Iran negotiation. In many cases, they are total fraudsters, charlatans, and worse. They will be rapidly exposed after a federal investigation is completed. There is only one group of meaningful points that are acceptable to the United States, and we will be discussing them behind closed doors during these negotiations. These are the points that are the basis on which we agree to a ceasefire. It is something that is reasonable and can easily be dispensed with. It is very like fake news CNN last night headlining a source that had no authority or power to write a letter claiming great authority. President Donald John Trump. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, and he wants to sue CNN for this because they had no right putting these 10 points out because the 10 points were false, totally false. But you've got the so-called leaders in Iran saying that the war is over. Trump lost the war. Let me remind you who is daddy up in here. Trump didn't lose the war. No matter what you hear on lamestream media, and I said lame, Trump is not losing anything. Trump is winning. And for Iran to have the balls to come out and tweet that their great axis of resistance, their powerful army and military defeated the most powerful military in the world and took us down and sent us running is not true. And if you want to play that game, you're going to find out. Because you haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything from those carriers, anything from those submarines, anything from those jets and those planes and those bombers. Nothing can stop what is coming if you keep running your mouth, Iran. Keep running your mouth and see what happens. I dare you. I dare you. The Kobesi letter, the passage of oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz has been stopped, per Iran's Fars News Agency. Iran says it will withdraw from the ceasefire if Israel continues attacks on Lebanon and is preparing potential responses. It does that. And it does that. It was open this morning. It stops it. And Trump's going to have any choice but to go in and hammer him. He'll hammer him. They don't know. They have no idea that Trump is crazier than they are. He's more lethal than they are. He has the power called the military behind him, where he can do this. That's his advantage. Okay. Let's see. Breaking: Saudi Arabia's east-west oil pipeline carrying 7 million barrels a gallon per day of crude oil from the Gulf to the Red Sea have been attacked per some kind of news. I don't know what that is.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community.
I don't want to listen to Joshua Reed in the healthcare. Now, here's the deal. J.D. Vance is going to be going to Pakistan and doing the agreements with Kushner and Weiskopf. They're going to be negotiating this thing, trying to get it, to the meet in the middle somewhere, and to make this once and for all done. But here's my concern, and here's my doubt. Israel's not going to listen. Israel's not going to stand down. They didn't do it the first time last year when we had the ceasefire between the two. Israel kept bombing. Bibi's not going to stop until Trump stops Bibi. And that will come soon enough. I guarantee you it will come soon enough. But until then, there will not be a ceasefire. Israel will not negotiate. Iran may stop. Iran might stop if Israel stops. But if Israel keeps doing this, Iran's not going to stop. What's to say? Well, it's just like two kids fighting. Mommy's hitting me. Mommy's hitting me. Mommy did it first. As long as one brother's hitting the other brother, neither one of them are stopping. Until Mama gets out the chancla. When Mama gets out the chancla, then it might stop. But until then, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep going and going and going and going and hitting and punching until somebody gets drastically hurt, or until the chancla comes out, and then Mama calls Daddy, and Daddy gets out the belt. And then it's all over, folks. It's all said and done. It's all finito. President Trump says, a country supplying military weapons to Iran will be hit with 50% tariffs on all goods sold to the United States. Tariffs effective immediately. No exclusions or exemptions. Just in, Trump says Iran has gone through what will be a very positive regime change, that there will be no enrichment of uranium, and U.S. and Iran will dig up and remove all of the deeply buried B-2 bombers' nuclear dust. Now, he said regime change, I want to say on Sunday or Monday. So is this deal already done, and what we're seeing is optics now? This is all just a movie we're watching with them throwing hands back and forth at each other? It could be. That's the way Trump works. He's always saying central casting. He's always saying, if I was making a movie, this would be somebody I would cast. Central casting. They're good looking. They could be an actor. He's always saying that. So, is this possibly him telling us that what we're watching is a movie? This is central casting? I believe it. I believe that's what he's saying. In my heart of hearts, I believe that's what he's saying. And that's what I believe all along. That's why I keep saying, get your popcorn ready. That's why you see memes of him with his 3D glasses on, sitting in a movie theater eating his popcorn, which sounds good right now. Joshua Reed from Mario Nafal. Now the ceasefire is in effect. Netanyahu is facing a huge backlash with his opposition leader, Yair Lapid, publicly slamming him. There has never been such a political disaster in all of our history. Israel wasn't even at the table when decisions were made concerning the country. Well, you know why? Because Bibi doesn't mind. Bibi don't listen. That's why. Bibi does what Bibi wants to do, but Trump's got to keep him close, but then Trump will bring him into check. Trump will bring him into check. You just got to wait and see. Right now, we got to get this deal on the table, and then Trump can handle Bibi. Pete Hegseth says, they're saying Pete Hegseth is fired by the end of the month. He will be scapegoated for the humiliating U.S. military failure we just witnessed of the Strait of Hormuz reversed to Iran control, making Iran a world power with uncontested control over the most important strait in the world. Now, Heath Ranger, you're about as dumb as a box of rocks, because we did not lose the war, and we are not losing the war, dipshit. You're one of those far left radical liberals that can't see anything good that Trump does, no matter what he does. We're the one that would say, if he saved a baby from the jaws of a shark, you would accuse him of starving the sharks. All right. PEW's latest poll tells the story of relationship in free fall. Israel is being seen negatively 60% by Americans. 60%. They're seeing it now, guys. People are waking up to what's going on in Israel. They're starting to listen to what we're telling them. They're listening to the truthers once and for all, and not the mainstream media that they're evil. Not the people, the government. Kind of like here. Not us, the government. Okay, one more article. Donald Trump posted, this was yesterday. A big day for world peace. Iran wants it to happen. They've had enough. Likewise, so is everyone else. The United States of America will be helping with the traffic buildup in the Strait of Hormuz. There will be lots of positive action. Big money will be made. Iran can start the reconstruction process. We'll be loading up with supplies of all kinds and just hanging around in order to make sure that everything goes well. I feel confident that it will. Just like we are experiencing in the U.S., this could be the golden age of the Middle East. President Donald John Trump. Now, the golden age. Have you seen all the gold in the White House, in the Oval Office, in that big living room? The golden eagle, he stands out now at the podium and talks. The gold everywhere, the golden age. Why does he call it the golden age? Because gold's going to back the dollar soon in June. The Fed's dead. IRS is next. Gold is going to be backing the dollar. The new rainbow currency, the quantum financial system will be in play. And no more Fed, no more London Bank, no more central bank, no more digital currency, no more cabal running stuff. Okay? He's taking the fingers off of our throat one by one. Control Strait of Hormuz, control global economics financially, and then down in Israel. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Netanyahu says Israel will not include Lebanon in the 2-week ceasefire, which it wasn't part of the deal. Hours ago, senior Israeli security officials confirmed to Ynet that it was included. It was not included, guys. I don't know where you're getting this news from, but Netanyahu and Lebanon was not part of the deal. They were not. I don't understand. Here's This was last night. Tel Aviv. And somebody's putting on there, what ceasefire? Here's something good here. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has announced the release of kidnapped American journalist Shelley Kittleson, who was kidnapped by Iranian-backed terrorists. Way to go, Marco Rubio. Only the Trump administration could have made this happen so quickly. So, with the deal, they got her released. God rest her. God bless her. God bless her. And you know what she went through while she was there. You just know it. Those are the most vile, filthiest barbarians that walked the face of this earth. And he took care of it. Okay? So, guys, that's going to end it for me. Okay? I'm going to remove this. Have me full transition here. Okay? I want to thank you guys for spending time with me. If you want to follow me, I'm on Rumble at Ola America. I'm on YouTube at Ola America. And I am here I'm on Twitch at Ola America. On TikTok, I'm Ola America Podcast. That's going to be shorts. I'm going to make shorts on YouTube as well later today. And probably shorts for Snapchat. Maybe even Reddit and Pinterest. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a new deal going with Blackout Coffee. I'm working directly with them instead of through a middleman, so that's great. We'll be doing some videos here on this platform with Blackout Coffee, talking about the cons, the pros, and there really aren't any cons. The pros of it: 0 sugar, 0 calories for the flavored ones. All the other ones too, basically just the sugar you put in it. But there's 17 different flavors. There's K-Pods, there's teas, there's cocoa, and I'm gonna be going over all that here the next couple of days. I'll be going over my t-shirt shop, which is still getting approved through TikTok Shop, which I did not realize that TikTok and Shopify work together. It's a whole different platform. Who knew? I've made some more t-shirt designs and some more mug designs. Mug designs to match my t-shirt designs. Mainly coffee mugs, talking about coffee, to go with my t-shirts. But I'll be making some more of those today. Those are $15.99 plus shipping. I think it's the $6.09 for shipping. It's flat shipping. So $22 and you get your coffee mug. Pictures on both sides. Instead of one side, they're on both sides. So either way you hold it, you get your picture in the middle of the coffee mug. Very proud of that. We'll see how that goes. We'll see what kind of business I can get from that. And then I'll do tote bags for women. If there's a tote bag or something out there that you guys really like that you want me to do, I'm more than happy to make one for you and personalize it. I want to make one with an ocean scene that says, "Beach, please." I think that'd be cute. Beach, please. Please, beach. Or the doctor says I need vitamin C and have a picture of the ocean and SEAY. Plus sun, sand, and salt. How you like that one too? Anyway, thank you for joining me. This is 36 minutes going in. I've kind of gone over my 30-minute time limit, and I do apologize. But guys, I thank you so much for spending time with me today. Have a great evening. Day? You know what day it is. You know what day it is. Hump Day. Chicago Day. Mad Fire PD. Woohoo! Love it. Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Those of you that are shopping in my businesses, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Support me. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Bye now. Yep.